Good morning. It's February 13th, Friday the 13th. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Moore?
Here.
Commissioner Riddell?
Here.
Commissioner Gallagher? We have a quorum. Under Resolutions Number 1, Investments.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Here.
Commissioner Riddell?
Here.
Number 2, Appropriations.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
There are no transfers. There are no advances or repayments. Number 5, Requisitions.
Page 1
Move
of
to
2.
approve.
Page
Oh.
1 of 2. Page 2, please. Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
There is no travel. Number 7, Bills.
We have 2 pages. 2 pages here. So this is page 1, page 2, please. Move to approve pages 1 and 2.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Number 8, county commissioners may recess an executive session, consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, along with any other matters as specifically identified by motion, in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code 121.22G1 through 8. Unless expressly stated otherwise, during executive session, matters discussed in executive session are designated by the county commissioners as confidential. Because of the confidentiality of such matters is necessary for the proper conduct of government business, any disclosure outside of executive session is prohibited by Ohio Revised Code 102.03B. While in executive session, the county commissioners may discuss and deliberate at the matters at issue, but no votes may be taken until open session resumes.
And we'll be going into executive session today.
Okay. Is there any public comment on the agenda items, or was it just public?
Yes, I'll let Gerald, you want to come up, or William? Which? Okay, Gerald Phillips, please. Item number 10. And I am waiting with bated breath to hear this, so I'm excited.
Good. Gerald Phillips, Avon Lake. Ohio Public Records Statute, Section 149.43 says public records are the people's records, and that the public officials are trustees for the public and for those records, and they have a fiduciary duty. Also, the statute says that records must be promptly prepared. Also, the statute says that they must be kept in the form that they are readily available. I've been dealing with this for a number of years. And, you know, what's appalling is how the public officials in various governments, you know, abuse the law, all right? Because they know that an average citizen isn't going to necessarily enforce it, because it's difficult. Because the attorney's fees for a public records case isn't mandatory. And I found out that the hard way. Back in 1980, when the statute says if you win, attorney's fees shall be awarded, okay? Shall is mandatory. Well, the Supreme Court didn't think shall meant mandatory, and they said it's discretionary. Fox versus Metro, famous case. So in order to sue for it, you know, they didn't want taxpayer watchdogs like myself. So here's a situation where, for whatever reason, the county prosecutor stonewalled the public on it, and now you got to pay for it, okay? You know, and another thing that happens is I hear governments say all the time, well, we got to review it to make sure there's nothing personal, and they go through redaction, and they go to the law director like in Avon Lake or through the prosecutor. And you know, it delays and stalls, and you're not going to sue just because of the stall. There's records that don't need to go through the law department that are clearly public and have no personal information. They don't have Social Security, they don't have any personal identification, and it shouldn't have to go through the law department. In Avon Lake, we got somebody, everything has to go through one person, and it gets delayed. And in the county, we got to go through the prosecutor's office. And I believe that that's just nothing more than a roadblock for readily access. You know, justice delayed is denied. You know, by the time we get public records sometimes, they're stale. They're not useful. Sometimes we need it promptly, and we don't get it. Thank you.
Thanks. Mr. Zimmerman?
Good morning, William Zimmerman, Avon Lake. So I'd like to discuss item 10 in regards that we're having to pay $33,000 to some people who didn't get their public records requests fulfilled. Bad business. You guys say you're good business people. That's bad business. I don't care if it's her fault, your fault, somebody's fault, because they wouldn't get records out when they were asked for. I make public records requests orally, written, all kinds of ways, because I want information. It's your obligation to give that information. Transparency is not an option, it's a requirement. Mr. Armbruster's office, I believe, doesn't fulfill these things. I have documents that I'll talk about later in my next chance to speak about the fact that I've asked for stuff. I'm getting stuff that's 5 years old. It's antiquated. It's outdated. It's useless. Prompt response. 3 to 5 business days. Don't understand why those simple rules aren't followed. It's an easy requirement. Fulfill them. The public has the right to know.
Thank you. I think
Is there any old business?
that's it on the public comment for agenda items. Oh, go ahead, old business.
Do you have any old business?
I don't think so. We'll wait.
No?
No, we'll wait.
Ours will be new business.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Board business 9, approve and waive the reading in the County Commissioners meeting minutes of February 10th to 26th.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Commissioner Dell?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
10, Board of Commissioners, Lorain County, Ohio, making payment in the case of Barillo versus Tomlinson, Lorain County Common Pleas Court Case 24 CV 211448. Court issued a judgment entry dated January 22nd, 26, awarding a realtor damages consisting of court costs incurred, reasonable attorney fees, and statutory damages in the amount totaling $33,167.13, and this will be paid from the account General Fund Miscellaneous Other Expenses.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes. I just would like to draw attention to the fact that this is a court order and it's versus Tomlinson. This is some of the most unpleasant things that a commissioner has to do is pay these kinds of bills. But this case was adjudicated, and it was not a case where anything was under the control of the commissioners. But when the court says that there's been a decision, everything leads back to the general fund, you know, whether we appreciate that or not. And for the record, the original plea was for $80-some thousand, and the court ruled a slightly smaller situation. So that's just the background for those that are keeping track of this 2-year-old story that is now closed.
I don't know if it's closed, but it was the
When
ask.
you write the check, I think it's over.
Well, the ask was $100,000, and since I was involved in all the negotiations, I talked to an attorney this morning. He said, because I'm not a happy camper on this one, I said, I'd like to share all the negotiations going back and forth and like going, well, the judge might be upset. And I said, well, I wasn't happy in how this went down. I think I'm just for the public record. Just because I said it in the newspaper, I figured why not get in the public record. I feel that it's about $32,167 too much than what it was worth. I feel that it was political lawfare at its worst. And unfortunately, you, the taxpayers, have to pay for this. Now, we could take the money out of the prosecutor's account, but his budget's already been cut. So, unfortunately, this is coming out of the general fund, and it's like you said. I think it was ugly politics. I don't think it had any. I think that's what was going on. I think all parties were guilty and of playing politics with taxpayer funds, and we're the ones that have to vote on it. I think it's disgusting. So, there we go. Call the roll.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
11, appoint Vasil Rubisek as a member to Lorain County Port Authority. Said term is effective February 13th of 26 through December 31st of 27, filling an unexpired term of David Gillock.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Community Development 12, accept the program year 25 Community Development Program funds and enter in a contract with the State of Ohio Department of Development for the amount of $648,000. Lorain County will utilize the requested funds to carry out the following activities countywide, excluding the cities of Lorain and Elyria. Public service activity, Neighborhood Alliance to conduct Meals on Wheels, $97,200. LMI Area Sewer Line Improvement Project in Sheffield Lakes Maple Grove Subdivision Phase 2. LMI Area Water Line Replacement in North Ridgeville's Arison Neighborhood. Limited Clientele Neighborhood Alliance Haven Center Homeless Shelter Courtyard Playground Installation. Fair Housing Program, $23,000 to implement the county's fair housing program. And General Administration, $106,000 to administrate the CDBG projects.
Move to approve.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell.
Aye.
Emergency Management, 13, entering a service agreement with One Solve LLC in the amount of $34,731.58 for the Code Red Emergency Alerting Software Program. This is a 3-year contract and will be paid from the contract services account.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion.
That, do you want to add anything to this? Like what the purpose? Like who has control to tell everybody that it's snowing at 3 a.m., that kind of stuff? Would you like to elaborate on that?
Well, I guess we can elaborate on it a bit. So this is a way for our emergency management department to alert residents on a plethora of things that could be going wrong in their community. First of all, it's something that they do have to sign up for, and they can do that by going to the emergency management website and signing up for Code Red. You would get alerts for weather. You could get alerts for street closing, boil alerts, hazardous spills, anything like that. Code Red, this is, I think, our second year working with Code Red. We did switch to this vendor about a year ago. They've been doing a very good job, and some of the expenses are reimbursed by the residents. So there's a fee that each community pays based on population that then is collected, and then we can use that as funds to pay for our Code Red software.
Okay. I think it's been a good program.
Yes, I think it's in relation to your 3 a.m. reference. The Code Red has a lot of versatility the previous vendor did not, but this one has about 12 or 15 different things that you can, I want to get called if it's a weather advisory. I don't want to get called if it's, power outage or whatever. So you can menu it and craft it to your desire on what you want to know about, and it's very efficient response. I think the program's been a much better success under this new vendor. Congratulations to the administrative and EMA teams.
I know EMA is very happy with them. They're very responsive if they do have any issues. So EMA is very happy with them.
Anything further? Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
Commissioner Dell?
Aye.
Transit 14, approve and enter a one-year agreement with the City of Overland to provide transportation service effective retroactive January 1st, 26 through December 30th of 26. City of Overland provides service 5 days per week to the residents for a total of 15 hours of service. City of Overland will provide the county with local funds in the amount of $31.93 per hour in 26 to be used by Lorain County Transit as a match to an equal amount of grant funds in order to support the service, plus a $50 per month fee to cover administrative expenses. No county general funds will be used for this service. Authorized payment to be made to First Transit for providing operations and maintenance, and this will be paid from the contractual purchase services and vehicle repair and maintenance accounts.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
You're going to hear a lot of that this year, in which, as we vote for other programs, we're going to be emphasizing a lot about no general fund dollars will be used for certain programs, just to let you know where the money's coming from. So,
Anything further?
nope.
Commissioner Dell?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Sanitary Engineer 15, approve amendment number 1 to the consulting service agreement with K.E. McCartney and Associates for the Quarry Road Sanitary Trunk Sewer Extension, AKA Northwest Lorain County Sanitary Sewer, in the amount not to exceed $3,179,200, and this will be paid from the Sanitary Engineer Professional Services account.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah. I'm going to give you this. This shows you what we're looking at here. So go ahead. A lot of times people read, they'll see something like this, and they'll see Quarry Road Sanitary Trunk and Sewer Extension, Northwest Lorain County Sewers. I mean, they're going, okay, what is it? Well, this is what it is. This is what we're voting on. I've talked to the consultants to find out, okay, give me a timeline. So this is the timeline. You guys talking to each other? So the timeline looks like this. You'll see an area that is blacked out. What is it, about a month ago or 6 weeks ago, we actually hired a company to go out and start looking for property for the wastewater treatment plant. We've already spent money to a firm to develop the paper, right, to kind of go out to construction. Yeah. So we did that already. This is what we're voting on today. And it's basically civil engineering and construction documents that will go out to bid in about a year. This will take about 12 months to get that information. So we'll be able to start putting shovels in the ground roughly, probably May. Because once we get this information back, hopefully, I'd like to say before the end of the year, but I'm playing a little conservative. We'll have that information probably closer to, let's just say, February of next year. We'll then vote on going out to bid for the project, and that will take about 60 days. After that, they should have shovels in the ground to start this project. At the same time as they're going down this, I guess as they start working on this project in 2027, also in 2027, we should have the documents and everything ready to go and the property designed for the wastewater treatment plant, which will alleviate the $85 to $100 million problem that the city of Vermillion has right now. And so we'll be alleviating their pressures and fixing theirs. Right now, rough estimates are probably 15 to 20 million instead of spending 100 million for that small community of 5,000 residents, or 5,000 households is what I was told. So they're working with us. Their city council did support this back in February of 2024. Back in July 30th of 2021, a bipartisan board voted yes to move forward with this project. So just to let everybody know, this has been in the arena here, not only since 2021, but goes way back to 15, or when? Longer than 2015. This has been in the works. I am just happy to know that we are moving forward, and government is slow, but it is going to be completed hopefully by 2028 and 2029. They're saying the wastewater treatment plant development could take 4 years, so it could be looking at 2032. But in the meantime, shovels will be in the ground hopefully next summer, and we'll be able to move forward with what's been going on for probably way over 20 years, I guess, right, Karen? So, okay. I know Mike asked for a copy of this, so, hey, Mike, afterwards, yeah, I got 3 pages if you want them, so. Yeah, well, like people say, this stuff doesn't have anything that's attorney-client privilege, and I don't have a problem if you ask me if you need something, okay?
May I?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I'd like to also reiterate that part of our job is to look forward and to protect the citizens and taxpayers of things that we see coming, which would be economically a problem or socially a problem. This sewer is not just, it's often viewed as economic development, and that's certainly true, but a secondary issue of this is the EPA continues to work on what we call H2 Ohio. It's kind of a catchy name, but they continually work at trying to improve the water quality of Lake Erie, protect it for the future. Sewers is directly related to that, as one can imagine. And there are 3 trends that the Board of Commissioners has identified that this project fulfills. One is that the EPA wants to eventually eliminate the dumping of sewage, treated sewage into the creeks and rivers, and wants everything to be processed at the highest level and put into the Lake Erie direct at hopefully 1 or 2 spots for a county the size of Lorain. And so this sewer is not just for economic development, it's for the future protection should other communities run into the same problems that Vermillion has, which is highly likely because the EPA has a habit of changing the rules, and as your sewage plant gets larger, they increase the quality that you have to clean the sewage to. If you're a small processing plant, they have fairly simple rules. If you're going to be a large processing plant, they have much more complex and expensive rules, as one could imagine. So this project is not only for not only to open up the west side for future economic development by those that will come after us, but it's also for the future protection to make sure that Lorain County stays in compliance with the EPA. And I think we all know that Lake Erie is our, if not the, it's certainly one of our best assets. And so, you know, we think it's important to comply with the EPA and H2 Ohio, because at the end of the day, we're the benefactors of that protection. So thank you.
Yep. Well, this is, like I said, this is all part of the process that, like I said, it was bipartisan. We worked with Columbus. They got us. I'd like to thank Mr. Armbruster and Ms. Perkins. I remember it was December 18th and 24. You guys came and said it looks like we might get it. I know you guys worked hard, but so did our lobbyists, and so did many other people. And this is awesome. I mean, really, to get that kind of money, $67 million, we do have the money to match it. That's already been allocated, and that's what people think that we're going to take it out of the general fund. But how that came about was, let's see, how do I say this? The ARPA funds that came in, we moved it over to the 2 areas of investments. So we'll be pulling that money out once we start moving forward next year. So the money's there for matching dollars. In fact, there's even more money for the sewers in regards to that. Now, I keep saying this over and over. Has nothing to do with operating this county. If the taxes are coming in at 89 million, we're gonna spend 89 million. We're not gonna plug holes with money that should be used for reinvesting in our communities, because if we're not gonna increase taxes, then we have to increase the tax base. To increase the tax base, you need businesses and you need homes. And that's what this project does. It also stops the uncontrolled growth that's going on in this county, which seems to be happening all over. If you take a look at the west side of our county, where they're having a lot of issues over there in Eaton Township in Columbia. East side. What did I say, west?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm talking west, so. So you're looking at a lot of issues over there because it wasn't controlled. This will control the growth closer, which I've been saying for 5 years, between Route 2 and the Turnpike, where that growth should be at least organized and controlled. We've been talking with the Baumhart Township trustees. This board helped them by giving them some money to help them with their land use plan and their master plan. We spoke out there, and they are moving forward to make sure that the growth is controlled and that they can control where and how things look in their own backyard. So this is one of those days that it's a great day for Lorain County as a whole. It will be creating jobs. My daughters are now working outside this county, and I think everybody has told me for 20 years, what are you going to do to stop our kids and grandkids from leaving this county? This does that. Thank you.
Anything further? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Dell?
Aye.
Engineer 16, Amendment Resolution 2673, adopted January 27th to 26, approving contract with Quality Control Services, LLC, in the amount of $49,539 to provide construction administration and inspection services for East River Road resurfacing project, Carlisle Township. This amendment is to reflect the correct account to be from Engineers Professional Services account.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion.
Does Bob have anything to add, or?
It was just a correction with the.
It's housekeeping.
number.
I know, just didn't know.
I was off one number, I apologize.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Dell?
Aye.
17, finding that public convenience and welfare requires a resurfacing North Ridge Road, County Road 1, from Broadway to Cooper Foster Park Road in Sheffield Township. Authorize engineer to advertise for bids in accordance with Ohio Revised Code 5555.06.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion.
Anything, Bob?
This project was funded with Ohio Public Works Commission money, and then we'll use our $5 permissive to match, to have the local match.
Okay, fantastic.
Anything further? Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Dell?
Aye.
18, finding that public convenience and welfare requires the rehabilitation of Butternut Ridge Road, bridge number 0542 in Carlisle Township. Authorize engineer to advertise for bids in accordance with the Ohio Revised Code 5555.06.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
How about that, Bob?
It's an Ohio Public Works Commission funded project. Again, we'll use the $5 permissive as our local share.
You just don't, do you know the percentages yet? Is this an 80-20 or 90-10 or?
Usually on Ohio Public Works, it's usually 74% Ohio Public Works, then we're responsible for that 26%.
Okay. And that money usually, before we did what we did, you guys were, that account was going broke, right?
Yes.
As it was, yeah. Okay.
Anything further? Commissioner Dell?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
19, entering consulting service agreement with Raffner A. Limited, Inc. in the amount of $40,000 to assist with professional service surveying and testing services for the county engineer's office in 2026, and this will be paid from the engineer professional services account.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Bob, anything else you want to add? It's all you.
No, we do this usually each year. We use this firm to help us with surveying, not only for our projects, I believe Stormwater uses them as well, so.
Okay.
Commissioner Dell?
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
County administrators?
Just a small report is that the map, the sanitary sewer map that you got, has a blue dot on it. Now, that's not actually
No, it does not.
official.
I blocked it out.
Well, the one I have has
I know the
that.
one you have, but I blocked it out for the public right now
Okay.
because we're in negotiations still with several landowners, so that's why I blocked it out.
And our goal is to finish the wastewater treatment plant for operation in 2030-31.
Okay.
So we've always had that goal, and we see no reason at this point why we can't finish it. So, so the dates, although it can move, we don't know, but that's the 2030 date is really where we're looking at.
Right. And there'll be some potential bonding for this project, and that's why some of this money, like that we're working on, is we're doing it as an advance. Correct,
Right.
Casey? Okay. Therefore, once the bonding get back out, we can at least bring that money back into the general fund and invest it in some other infrastructure needs that we may have.
That completes my report.
Thank you.
The only thing I have is Thursday, February 19th at 8 o'clock is Visitors Bureau, and then Tuesday, February 24th at 1 p.m. Land Bank meeting. Board correspondence?
Move to waive the reading of the board correspondence.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Dell?
Aye.
Is there any new business?
Do we want to talk about anything, or do you want to?
Yes.
I mean, it's up to you.
Okay, well, we the Commissioner Moore drafted everybody's attention to a correspondence that we had received from the prosecutor's office at the request of the sheriff. And so we put that into the public, into our correspondence, because it was delivered by hand, which is not the usual way. And in the interest of trying to make sure that everything is there, I turned it in personally because it was personally delivered to me. And I don't think there was anybody trying to keep it out of the public eye, but we nonetheless, in abundance of caution, we put it in the public eye. We disagree with the opinion. Some of the media has picked up on that particular letter, and some of it hasn't, but we've been working, as you know, we've executed contracts over the last 24 months to do the planning and so forth necessary to move forward with the jail project, which has been sitting dormant for about 20 years. So this board has taken the attitude that we're not going to kick cans down the road anymore, as you've seen with the sewer project that was, an old project but is now moving forward. And likewise, we hope to be able to make those same kind of announcements with the jail for Lorain County to make sure that all three constituencies are represented. We have had meetings with the courts and the prosecutor's office, with Mars Board, mental health, drug addiction people, to make sure that all the services that are necessary for those that unfortunately find themselves in the jail. And we have done the work that's necessary. As I said, we disagree with the opinion that was given by the prosecutor's office. We think it was incomplete. We don't think it was anything devious or otherwise. We just think it was incomplete, and we have responded accordingly that not only the one section that's mentioned in the letter, but we've complied with all 35 sections that go with that particular subject. So we are completing construction drawings estimates. We are completing bills of material. We are complying with everything that's in that, and we hope to be able to move that to the next step here shortly. Our goal being to be ready to put a shovel in the ground when we can figure out the financing for the jail and eliminate the safety concerns that are there for our staff as well as the inmates, and protect the rights of the taxpayers by seeing to it that the project is something that we can afford to pay for. So I thank everybody for bearing with us. We try very hard to follow the law, and we try very hard to be inclusive. All those activities are not always seen by the public, but know that they are there, and we are prepared to, somewhere here in 2026, bring a completed project to public view that represents everybody who works in the system, the courts, the prosecutors, the law enforcement, as well as the taxpayers.
Well, not only that, you're also, let's go back even farther. The previous administration of the county commissioners, this was all brought up back in the beginning of 2021. Also, you had previous administrations in prosecutor's office, previous administration of the sheriff's office. You have both of those offices have switched. The commissioners have also had some new blood. But pretty much the list, we're not going to go through the list, but I believe we've engaged everybody that's been affected by this. When they had a seat at the table, you guys were having meetings in 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. We finally got everything ready. Well, almost. And as our understanding, I guess the Cliff Notes version of what that letter says is basically that 4 people have to approve the design once they get all the facts. So once we get all the facts, we're hoping that a date can be chosen in the next 2 weeks in which the architect, the consultants, hopefully the 3 of us, and the 4 individuals that will be voting on whether or not to accept that design and the cost. Because we can all talk about, hey, it costs this much, $1.50 or whatever it is a square foot. That doesn't tell you everything. So now it looks like we're getting very close to having all the facts, what the employee counts and everything's going to be, And hopefully at that meeting, they can make a decision on whether or not we should or should not move forward. So that will be up to them. And I had a discussion with a few people this morning. I think that should be a public discussion, but I guess it's a administrative board.
It's an advisory board.
It's an advisory board, I guess, so.
They can't actually make the commissioners go forward with the project, but they do have to approve that the project is done correctly and so forth. So it's just another way of officially saying that some of those same people that we involved in the beginning, now they get a vote at the final end to determine if this satisfies, what they need. And on that court is the sheriff and the courts and the clerk of courts. We think the committee could be made up a little better. We think the prosecutor ought to have a seat at that table, but
And it's an even
we didn't
number.
write the Ohio Revised Code,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, it's an even number of 4 people, so good luck. I mean, do you want to check into that and see if it should be, or since it's an advisory board, does it have to be a public meeting?
Sure, I'll find that out.
Huh?
I'll find out.
If you could
Okay,
find out,
you
I'd
do that.
appreciate
And
it.
also, are the 3 commissioners members of that board or just the 4?
That's what we haven't been able to, since we got hit on Tuesday with the letter.
Right.
We'd like to know if we have a seat at that board, because we have included everybody and anybody who wanted to sit at that board throughout the process over the last 4 years, 5 years. So it'd be nice, since everybody has had input, to at least be part of that presentation of the architect, the consultant, in front of the 4 individuals who get to vote. So,
Yeah.
and that's where we're at on that part. That's what that letter was about I mentioned on Tuesday.
Couple of interesting perspectives. Since we started this process at the end of '24 and started putting the pieces together, from concept to actual plans and so forth, the cost of the jail has gone up $8 million due to supply and demand and inflation. And if there's ever a compelling reason to do this sooner rather than later, it's the price tag goes up $4 or $5 million a year. I think the second thing that's interesting about this project is that the sheriff has been able to mitigate. He announced last night at a public meeting that they have not had any new lawsuits concerning civil rights and so forth at the jail during his first year in office. And he and the staff are to be commended for that. But they had to increase the staff of the jail by 20 people over the course of last year in order to see to it that that was accomplished. So, building the new jail and building it with modern technology will help us mitigate those types of issues. We still have a legacy of lawsuits and claims, concerning the old building, because it is an obsolete floor plan for a jail. That's all I have.
Nothing else?
Nope.
Public comment?
Let's see. How about Aaron Knapp, since you're sitting closer? The other gentlemen are in the back, so. Good morning. You got 2 minutes, and welcome.
Good morning. I didn't really have a major topic this morning. I wanted to introduce myself. Apologize, Ms. Proof, for not recognizing you in the elevator. I don't recognize people very well facially when I see them very often, so I come out in these scenarios, I'm not even seeing who I'm standing around. I know Mr. Phillips is probably going to be shocked, but I agree with everything he said about public records. I believe that they need to be put out quickly. I actually don't have a problem with the settlement because it's going to improve the ability for the requesters, hopefully, to get their records on time now, and we won't have that issue. But what I'm here today to talk about is Crossroads, the Turning Point Shelter, I should say. As much as people may not realize it, as much as I cry and moan about not working at Crossroads, I still support juvenile justice, the juvenile court, and especially Turning Point. That's the only juvenile facility in this town for homelessness. And I didn't know anything about it. I would suggest that some people maybe take a walk down there, talk to the staff, talk to the kids, and realize what this benefit to the society is. These kids don't have anywhere else to go. So if they don't go there, they go to the DH. and they're leaving their homes. You know, Lorain City is criminalizing, you know, parents and all these different aspects. So where are the kids that are threatened by their parents or their uncles or their aunts or their situation supposed to go? A lot of the times they take these kids out there, and it's out, you guys know, it's out in the middle of nowhere. So they can't leave. Like, they can't just run off. It becomes a really good benefit for the community to keep those kids out of that jail you're talking about rebuilding. And as a social worker, I must say that closing that shelter down, displacing those employees, displacing those kids, and that program is probably a really bad idea. I feel like we should find the money to support that. And beyond that, I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Aaron Knapp. You guys have probably read my stories. But I wanted to put a face to everything so that when we're emailing each other, we all know who we are. So thank you for your time today, and you make it a wonderful day.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Zimmerman?
William Zimmerman, Avon Lake. I'd like to make a request to get a copy of those 3 pages that you offered to Mike.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, if anybody else wants to raise your hand, I'll have my assistant, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'll have Amy get you guys, okay?
Thank you very much.
No problem.
So,
I'll start you over here. Oh, here we go. Okay.
thank you, I appreciate
Yep.
that as well. So, the engineering for the sewer for Vermillion and all of that, I believe is still just another name for the Clearwater and the 6119. Is it not supposed to be a part of that? Because it's going to the Vermillion thing. The 67 million, which we all are so happy to receive, and I understand that Ms. Dieter, who is a representative for another area, has put out a letter recently saying that maybe we should give the money back because we're not following their guidelines, because people don't want the expansion down in the mega site. The meeting down there in the New Russia Township, again, was voted 3-1 against, 4-1 against. I don't remember the exact numbers, I apologize.
4-1.
But the point of the matter still is that those people don't want that down there. They want to live the life that they've been living for decades. Their generations of their families are farmers. They want to remain farmers. They should have that luxury, not being told what they should have to do. Now, I wasn't here on Tuesday, and so I was only able to watch on television. And it was appalling, in my opinion. You people are making us look like idiots for electing you. The infighting that's going on did nothing except make you look bad. And Mr. Riddell is up for re-election. And I believe that this potentially could have ended his campaign before it even began because of the manner in which you all are operating. You need to take a hard look at what you're doing. You represent us. So talk to these people. Find out what they really want. Figure out how to manage the money. And make sure you don't make us look like idiots anymore.
Thank you. Mr. Phillips?
Again, Gerald Phillips, Avon Lake. I'd like a copy of that opinion involving the jail. Somebody said it's in correspondence. I didn't see it on the correspondence list.
Tuesday.
On Tuesdays? Oh, okay, well, I'd like a copy of that and the response. And I'll save the prosecutor a little bit of time. That advisory board is a public body under 121.22. Open public meeting. I want to attend. I want notice. I don't know about the commissioners being part of it because I haven't had time to research the ORC, but it is a public body. I got a case in the Supreme Court that basically says advisory boards are public bodies. So,
Thank you.
the sewers, Obviously, I'm very familiar with Avon Lake Regional Water, very familiar with Lorain. I'm suing them. I'm very familiar with Vermillion because I've been involved in Vermillion with Mr. Resar and the Baumhart thing. So I know more about sewers in Lorain County than probably you want to know. So this number 15, $3 million for consulting services? That seems quite large. But anyway, I'm concerned about the funding of it. I get the impression that you're going to issue some bonds to cover the deficit. I like, actually, from the auditor's office, I'll make a public records request. I want the full accounting of the ARPA funds for what you received, how it was spent, where it exists, how it's being invested. It's $100 million just to build a plant. I don't know what it costs to put the that line down. I don't know how many linear feet, but that's going to be expensive. So I'd be quite interested in being involved when
You'll see it in here when you get
the
it.
cost.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that diagram is the most recent diagram of the potential line.
Yeah.
And since I'm getting a copy of it, that'll be fine. EPA is on an edict because everybody had combined sewers put in the early 1900s. And what happens with combined sewers is when you get a storm, all right, the overflow. And the overflow, okay, on the storm goes into the sanitary and you get sewage in the lake. And Avon Lake, they had a program to eliminate that over 20 years, and they did. Lorain didn't, and Vermillion didn't. So really the problem with Lorain and Vermillion is lack of foresight, lack of efficient management. So thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay,
Before
that's
you
it.
go to
Oh,
exec, may I?
yeah.
If I might take a little public comment myself, I appreciate, and I think Mr. Phillips gave us an excellent segue. Just because some of our local communities haven't done their best efforts at forecasting the future doesn't mean that the commissioners should also follow suit. We have an obligation to all of the taxpayers in Lorain County. We represent all of them. And while some may say that we don't represent them on a particular issue because we're not doing what they want, we always have to moderate those decisions with what is the most good for the most people, and let the local people take care of their own situations where they have the control. And I think we saw that in the mega site. We continue to prepare Lorain County for a future. There's an old adage that says if you don't spend about 10% of your time planning for your future, you will not have one. And we want to see Lorain County have a great future, comparable to what we had back in the 70s and the 80s. So we're going to continue to do our job, and we will trust that the locals will do their job. Just this week, there was a vote on the zoning in New Russia Township. That's totally under their control. We don't disagree with their decision. It's theirs to make. And I think it's a little unfair to say that we're trying to direct somebody one way or another. What we are trying to do is make sure that all the citizens of Lorain County have the options for their life that they'd like. Property owners deserve the ability to sell their property. Property owners deserve to develop their property. Property owners deserve the right to maintain their property the same way it has been for 50 years, and we can all do that and still accomplish moving Lorain County forward. So I realize Mr. Phillips made a great comment, and that is that even though some areas may be lacking, the whole purpose of county government is to move the county forward and to take care of some of those situations, to plan for our future. And to Mr. Zimmerman's comments, that's how we got where we're at. When politicians make decisions based on keeping votes and getting reelected to get a paycheck, the important work doesn't get done. And one of the reasons that we're doing this work is because it is important. And if enough residents feel that way, I'd like the opportunity to stay and finish. But if they don't, they don't. But that doesn't mean that we aren't going to continue to do the job that we think we need to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Make a motion to go into executive session based on the statement from our clerk and for discussions of contracts and potential litigation. That's my motion.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddle?
Aye.
Okay. Amy?
Commissioners have reconvened from executive session.
And we are back. Thank you. So let's see. Teresa, would you like to read a resolution for us?
The whole thing?
I don't know. Where's our legal?
No, just,
Just the front,
Yes.
the top part?
yeah.
A resolution ratifying the issuance of a last, best, and final offer to the United Automobile, Aerospace, and Agricultural Implement Workers of America, Local Union 2192, and approving the tentative agreement between the parties, and such offer is ratified by the union, or, in the alternative, declaring ultimate impasse and the establishment and implementation of wages, hours, and terms and conditions of employment for employees occupying job classifications represented by the United Automobile, Aerospace, and Agricultural Implement Workers of America Local Union 2192, consistent with the final offer should it not be accepted.
Move to approve.
Second?
Discussion. Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Riddell?
Aye.
Thank you. We are adjourned.